Well, I want to thank all the people out here who have done so much for our family before Amanda passed and after she did. You've brought meals, you've mowed lawns, you've cleaned house, and you've done all these things without asking what you should do. And I want to thank you so much because it was wonderful. Today was, it's Amanda's birthday. And Amanda was an early bird. She was due on March 28th, 1975. But she came to us 1 month to the day early. And that was Amanda the rest of her life. She never wanted to be late. Being on time really wasn't right either. She wanted to be early. And she was, kind of like her Grandma Richardson. She didn't want to be, if they say 5 o'clock, they mean 5 minutes before 5 o'clock. When the kids were little, and we had a big family, and when the kids were little and before Amanda went to kindergarten, if we were going someplace, I didn't have to say 5 times, "Amanda, get your shoes on." Amanda was ready immediately upon hearing we were going someplace. She was really a pleasure to have in that respect. She always wanted to be ready and really out the door before we were ready to go. When she went to kindergarten, this was the start, and I should have really known what was to come. Amanda, we lived in the Philippines, and we lived up a hill. And halfway down the hill was Grissom School. And then further down the hill was the high school. I see all these Clarkites smiling. And we would go to kindergarten. I would walk her to school. And the first about 2 weeks, we were there about 10 minutes early. And then it was like 15, 20 minutes early. And by the time we were getting there 40 minutes early, the vice principal came out and said, no, she can't be here any before the buses come. So Amanda came up with this idea. We would go down the hill, and then we would stand on the hill that overlooked the school, and when the buses came, she would run down to the line so she was first in line. And she continued that the rest of the kindergarten year. Amanda was, I know I hear some of the kids saying things about the fun things they did in the Philippines, like movies and the BX, but really, I was thinking the only fun thing we did was our chapel programs, so they had different thoughts, like the wine in the park. But we were very active in the base chapel, and when you don't have a big mall, you kind of find your activity, in something like school or chapel. Well, we had lots of neat chapel programs. We had potluck suppers, and we had dinners that were really fun, and we had programs. People came from the States other than Billy Joel and sang, and we had Christmas and Easter programs, and Amanda was always the one who saved our place. Before she rode her moped down the hill, she would call a cab or get on a bus, and she'd go down the hill to the chapel, and she would save a whole pew for our family so we could come in, later. Save a table at a potluck. An hour ahead of time she'd be down there. And she'd get the space for the whole family. Amanda was a little early bird, and that was really how she left us. She left us too early. We didn't think that would happen, but looking back, I see, as it says in Psalms, that life is but a vapor, a breath, or a mist. Mandy lived but a vapor. The rest of our lives to her are going to be a vapor or a mist. To us they may seem long, but we will be with her before we know it. And I believe in my heart that she left early, and she's taken care of business up there, getting everything ready for us to come. Happy birthday, Mandy.